out there, but then it just falls off a cliff.
The Detroit Lions select Jahmyr Gibbs, running back.
No way.
Jahmyr Gibbs with the 12th overall pick. I was waiting for this sort of reaction too. The first one of the night where it was really going to floor you. What do we think about Jahmyr Gibbs landing in Detroit with the 12th pick?
Can you imagine if you did that in a mock draft?
Oh
what
my God.
Detroit fans would have said to you?
They would have taken your head off.
It's fascinating that they traded away from Bijan Robinson at 6.
Yeah.
And they, I don't know if they thought they'd get Bijan here or if they thought Gibbs the entire way.
Yeah.
Either way, look, I love Jahmyr Gibbs. You cannot name the top 25 players in this draft and not name Jahmyr Gibbs. He is that good of a player, rushing the football, catching the football. He is so sudden with his feet, and the way he marries his eyes with his feet, it is really impressive. So, and we mentioned it when we were talking about Bryce Young.
Yep.
He led the team in receptions this year. That's not ideal, but it also speaks to his talent. And you think about the Lions and that running back depth chart with DeAndre Swift still there. They signed David Montgomery.
Right.
They gave David Montgomery $11 million guaranteed like a month and a half ago.
This is a different type of weapon where I bet you we see him in the slot. We see him all over the formation.
Yep.
It's one of those deals where we're going to make defenses defend us with the different things we throw at them. And Jahmyr Gibbs gives you that flexibility, the versatility. I did not see Detroit doing this.
I thought they were going to take a pass catcher somewhere. We thought they needed one more complimentary pass catcher. You have Jameson Williams, who's going to be suspended, but you have him in the fold. Obviously, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown in the slot, but that one other outside spot or tight end, could they find a tertiary pass catching option? To do it at running back, I did not anticipate because DeAndre Swift is on the roster. And they spent on David Montgomery.
Maybe it speaks to what they thought of this wide receiver group. Yeah. They look at who's available.
Or the tight end class.
Right. Yeah. And they say, you know what? Gibbs is our best option. We want to get more explosive. We want to score more points. And that's why we've seen so many wide receivers come off the board early. Teams want to score more points.
Yep.
The best way to do that, by adding wide receivers. We've seen that the last 2 years. This class does not have the caliber of receiver we've seen the last 2 years.
And just speed kills. And that's what he's got. He's got juice. And so once Jameson Williams comes back, now you got kind of guys that'll complement each other as well. Amon-Ra St. Brown. Even St. Brown and Jameson Williams are kind of the receiver version of what David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are. So you got your Thunder and Lightning, the classic running back pairing. And with that offensive line, DeAndre Swift was leading the NFL until he got hurt with like 9 yards of carry. And I'm not even exaggerating that much there. It was like 7 or 8 yards of carry before he got hurt. Now you get a guy that's much better true running back and has a better vision. He's even more explosive than even Swift is. And Swift is explosive. It's, wow, this could be home run after home run and 20-yard gain after 20-yard gain.
I understand it's exciting because he's an exciting player. This feels like a luxury pick.
It's rich.
It feels like a luxury pick. Are the Lions, with all those picks that we've already talked about, in a position to make one? Maybe. You could argue that, but this feels really rich for what feels like a cherry on top to put it in your parlay.
Yes.
I think this also speaks to maybe the Lions believing Gibbs was not going to make it to 18. Mm-hmm. They liked him that much, where instead of taking the defensive player here, Christian Gonzalez, whoever it was, they thought their best bet was to take Gibbs here. That's how much they liked him. That says a lot when they're picking again in 6 picks.
Yeah,
that says a lot that they took the running back here. And look, I get it because Gibbs is an exciting player, and I keep going back to them probably not believing in this receiver class, this tight end class, Gibbs being that best option to give just that extra punch to the offense. And so a guy that he ranked top 15 in the FBS last year in all-purpose yards, 135 yards per game. He had one drop. All the targets he saw, one drop. That's it. So this is a player that he lined up in a slaughter outside 25% of the time. He can be that creative mismatch weapon that a lot of teams are looking for. So I do think I agree with you. It is a bit of a luxury pick, but this is also a team that traded up for Jameson Williams last year, who was, that was coming off the ACL, and it was a lot of excitement about what that could be. This is another exciting pick. They get another Alabama skill player here early.
Let me talk you through my rationale, and potentially it doesn't say they don't like the tight end class. Maybe it says we thought the drop off after Gibbs to the next group of running backs was going to be bigger than the drop off from the tight ends that would be on the board at 18 that we can get in the second round. Yeah. They have all these second round picks. Maybe they think, we can get a tight end at 54 or whatever, but we couldn't get a running back nearly in this conversation the same
and
way.
different type of skill sets with those second and third round running backs too. A lot more bruiser types, Charbonnet and other guys like that, like bigger size guys of his own runners. So my dad had a line about running backs. I asked him one time, I was like, what do you look for? What do you like? He goes, can they catch? And can they take it to the house? Well, that's Jahmyr Gibbs right there. So again, with a good offensive line, and you're talking about the auxiliary pass catching role. That's huge in this type of offense that is balanced. They now you can kind of line up guys wherever you want. You can run the ball how you want to. You can get into pony personnel with 2 running backs.
Yeah.
You're just giving yourself flexibility of personnel, getting your best players on the field. And when they're balanced like this, it can do like other things, catching the ball and all that. That just gives you flexibility to offense. And Ben Johnson's a great offensive coordinator. So this is a great weapon for him.
I would argue that the pick here with the Lions has honestly nothing to do. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it has anything to do with the running backs. I think it's more just they love Gibbs that much,
right?
Where they thought adding him to this offense and the weapon he could be, like they probably just think of him as a weapon more so than strictly a running back.
It's not just best player available; it's favorite player available kind of thing. Yeah.
They drafted the most impactful player.
That's a good way to put
that they could get here. This is we thought for sure they'd go defense, and this is an offense that did pretty well last year.
If you asked me, put a list like what guy I would expect there, like we did a quick like who are the Lions taking next? This would have been 14 on my list. So it's interesting. Yeah.
All right.